Oh, this is unbelievable! If I'd known this was going to happen, I wouldn't have hesitated any longer than I already have. I should have kept trying to reach out no matter what, even if it meant making things worse with my husband and all. Huh? Excuse me, but who is this? Oak, really now? Even if we've only met once, why are you asking who I am? I get that it's been years now since then, but I'm the one person you should be able to remember the most. No, I truly don't remember. At the very least, I don't think we've exchanged phone numbers or anything, have we? Because you're not showing up in my contacts anywhere, and there is no texter ID. Where'd you even get my number from? It was on my son's phone, your husband's phone, that is, and I made sure to get it off there so I could finally get in touch with you again. Huh? Wait, are you trying to say that you're my mother-in-law? That doesn't make any sense. That's exactly what I'm trying to say here. Well, I don't think that's true. My mother-in-law's phone number has been saved in my contacts for a while now. And to be honest with you, she never once texted me before and said it herself that she's more of a caller than a texter. Oh, really? Well, in that case, you shouldn't have played dumb and asked who I am if you already know me. Wait, what? I mean, you clearly know who I am since you already have my contact information in your phone, right? No, that's not at all what I just said about you, though. The person saved under mother-in-law in my phone, they aren't you. And my mother-in-law wouldn't even be texting me right now, even if she did do that. What? Are you trying to tell me that I'm not your mother-in-law at all or something? Yes, actually. You're not my mother-in-law, and I'm not really sure who you could be. So how about you go and check your son's phone one more time and make sure you didn't type that number into your phone wrong? What kind of nonsense are you spouting? You're just trying to escape the blame for your crime, aren't you? Well, I'm not letting that happen, and I will make sure that you are held responsible for it. Huh? What crime? My son found out about your affair and left the house to go and try to investigate, and then he got hit by a car. All he wanted to do was get the evidence, but before he could move out of the way, he was knocked out completely. Wait, what? What are you talking about? I've never even heard about any of that going on. You're the one who ran him over, didn't you? You wanted to silence him, didn't you? All because you are too egotistical and can't stand having other people know about your faults. But I won't let you get away with this. I will never forgive you for this, ever. Let me ask you this one more time. Who exactly are you? Because honest to God, I have no clue who you are or what you want with me. I told you already that I'm your husband's mother, your mother-in-law, and what I want from you is to confess your crimes and then make up for them so that my son doesn't have to go through this pain anymore. Okay, you need to listen very carefully to me. I am currently traveling with my actual mother-in-law right now. She's right beside me in our hotel room, and we are getting ready to leave and go outside. So, again, who are you? What? What do you mean you're with your mother-in-law traveling right now? My mother-in-law has chronic back pain, so we're staying at a spa resort for an extended trip to help her recover for a little while before her next fit of pain. What? I'm your mother-in-law, though. What's all this nonsense about me being at a spa resort with you and having chronic back pain? Stop making up some ridiculous old lady scenario about me. I'm just getting into my 60s. It's not made up, though. Also, if your son has been in an accident, shouldn't you focus on that instead of accusing me? If there's any foul play involved, the police will investigate, and if I were really involved, that would come to light during the investigation. I think it's best if you stop making strange accusations about people you've never met before and stop getting confused about everyone around you. Oh, I see what you're doing. Trying to run away, are you? There's no reason for me to run because I haven't done anything. Now, just to be clear with you one last time, you are not my mother-in-law. That much is certain. So please, please go and take one more look in your son's phone and make sure you don't have the wrong contact or phone number. You're still insisting on that? I might call the police on you right now if you're going to continue behaving like that. Goodbye. Oak, lend me some money, all right? Huh? Is this you, Candace? It's been years since you've reached out, and now you're asking for money? What about that wonderful high-earning husband of yours? You know, the one that you constantly were asking me about for some reason? saying that you're the one who deserved a man like that? You went and seduced Mark, my former boyfriend, using your pregnancy as leverage to force a marriage, which at the time was completely insane of you, but now that I think back on all that happening there, it was totally wrong.
Ah, that wasn't exactly how it happened, but you seem to remember a lot about me, actually. Besides, at that point, you hadn't even given your answer to the marriage proposal yet, so technically it was fair game. Fair, because if you weren't going to be getting married to him in the future, that meant to me that he needed a new woman, and one who could actually love him.
Sure, I guess you could argue it was technically fair, but do you remember how you embarrassed Aunt May, who had been the one to introduce Mark to me? She spent so much time going out looking for someone perfect, all just to have the man she had finally been able to find ripped away from her and I by you. Or how disappointed Dad and Mom were with you after that whole mess. How they both told you to get out of the house and never come back to them because they couldn't even look at your face. And if I recall correctly, you didn't end up being pregnant after all, did you? You just lied about that in order to get Mark to believe that he had to become your husband then, making it all a lot easier on you.
Ugh, that is ancient history. Besides, you went on to marry someone else from some other dating app, so what's the big deal? Anyway, what I have going on with myself right now is more urgent. The money.
I have no intention of lending you money, but what happened? If you let me know why you need money so badly right now, I may be able to help you in other ways.
Well, you see, I accidentally ran over Mark with my car.
You what?
I put the car in the wrong gear and it shot forward instead of backward, and that led me to pretty much end up hitting him by mistake. Luckily, I didn't kill him at the time, but he didn't get up when I called out to him.
You are kidding, right?
He's going to be okay, no life-threatening injuries, but it's going to take him about 3 months to recover. But I couldn't just sit around waiting for the ambulance to come and get him, so I actually reversed out of there and took off to lay low for a bit.
So, let me get this straight. You want me to cover Mark's hospital bills that you ended up causing him and the car repairs? All because you're too afraid to take responsibility for your own actions?
Well, yes, that's part of it, but it's also because my affair was exposed at the worst possible time.
Excuse me?
My boyfriend, Mark, caught me in the act of having sex with him, and we were actually doing it together in the car. When I saw him watching the two of us in the car, I panicked and tried to drive away, but I accidentally hit him because I switched the gears the wrong way. And like I was saying, when I had to look out my window and yelled for Mark to get up, he didn't. There was a bunch of blood that also started to come out of him, and I just freaked out and told my boyfriend to call the ambulance, and then we took off.
What on earth were you thinking?
I know. So now, on top of everything, Mark is suing me for damages to him and for having that affair with another man. I already tried to fight the case, saying it was all an accident and that he doesn't have any evidence of me having that affair. But the judge and all of the jury wouldn't listen to me.
So you're looking at a payout of hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
You must realize there's no way I have that kind of money, right? I don't have anything saved up, and Mark was my source of income, really.
Didn't you quit your job to become a full-time housewife because you thought marrying high-earning Mark would make you set for life or something?
Yes, I did. And so what? Is that a crime?
Whether it's a crime or not, you're definitely reaping the consequences of your own actions now, don't you think? I don't even get why you would have that affair in the first place when you had gone through all the trouble of stealing him from me years ago.
I suppose I was just fed up with some things in our relationship that made me start looking for someone else to please me.
I see. By the way, sorry to change the subject, but there's something I want to ask you.
What now?
What's your mother-in-law's name?
Huh? My mother-in-law's name?
You remember, don't you? When Mark and I got engaged to one another, barely a month passed before his parents got into a huge mess and ended up divorcing. I never really had a chance to ask for his mom's full name because of all that chaos and because she was kicked out of the house and moved away before I could talk to her again. But since you married Mark, I figure you would at least know your mother-in-law's name, right?
I haven't really spoken to her much, but I think her name is Janice?
Thanks, Candace. That's all I needed to know. Goodbye now.
Wait, hold on a second. Are you going to help me out with my money situation or not?
Oak, I am officially demanding $50,000 from you as compensation.
What? Is this you again?
Yes. I've decided to take matters into my own hands and avenge my son's suffering. He deserves justice, and I'm going to get it for him. So make sure you have that money to me by next week, or I will be calling the police on you.
Suffering? Fine, whatever. Actually, it's good you started to text me. I was about to reach out to you anyway so that we could settle all of this.
Wait, what?
Can you meet me this Saturday at 9 a.m. at the parking lot in front of the west side of Central Park in City A? Let's settle this whole dispute there with one another in person.
Oh, that's sudden. But you're being strangely cooperative, aren't you?
I figured it would be more convenient for you this way, right? After all, it is you who needs the money the most and not me.
Well, yes, that does sound easier for me. And you're right that I need the money. I guess this means you're finally showing some remorse for what you did to my son. If that's the case, I won't press you too hard about everything, and I'll hold off on calling the police on you for now.
So, 9 a.m. on Saturday then?
Fine, I'll be there. But remember, I'm expecting you to make things right between all of us after what you did. And if you're truly reflecting on your actions, I won't push for a harsher penalty. Just don't forget that I'm not going to let this go easily.
Right. See you then. Candace, this is about Saturday. Are you going to be free around 10 a.m. to leave your house and come see me?
What do you want? Did you get that $50,000 I asked for ready?
I want you to come out to East Park in City B around that time, all right? Meet me in the parking lot there and we can talk some things over together.
What?
You'll be able to come, right?
And that's you saying you're going to be giving me that $50,000 I need?
Are you coming or are you not coming?
I'll be going. I will definitely be going to see you. I need that money badly, so I really have no other choice.
Then make sure to get there on time for me, please. I don't want to have to wait all day for you out there.
I'll finally be able to end all of this without having to get into loads of debt. Thank God.
Oak? What is this? What's with the blacked-out van that just pulled up here?
Ah, hello, Janice. You're right on time. How punctual and very impressive.
What do you mean impressive? What are you planning to do to me?
The people who've come to pick you up are not bad folks, so you really don't need to worry.
How on earth am I supposed to feel reassured by you saying that right now? I only came here because you said you'd give me the $50,000 that I'd been asking you for before.
But I never once said I was going to give you $50,000, right?
What? But I said that I needed all of that money from you.
Yes, and because of that, I've introduced you to a job opportunity.
A job opportunity?
The van that's here to pick you up belongs to Rogers Construction Company. It's one of their work vehicles that pulled up to meet with you, so no need to worry.
What? What exactly do you think you're trying to make me, your husband's mother of all people? I demanded $50,000 from you to avenge my son's suffering, and now you're telling me to work? How does any of that even make sense?
Isn't it because after your divorce you used up the alimony and your ex-husband's personal savings and now you owe him $50,000 and that's why you're asking me for it?
What?
Also, let's be clear about one thing here. Your son is very much alive and well, isn't he?
What does that have to do with this?
Ugh. Let me say this again. I am not your son's wife.
Oh, there you go with that nonsense again. How many times do we have to go back to square one? You were the one who was introduced to my son a while back in the arranged marriage meeting.
Yes, that part is true.
And I heard you got married to him in less than 6 months after that meeting.
Well, in those less than 6 months, his marriage partner changed and I was no longer with him anymore.
What?
Let me get straight to the point. Your son's wife, Mark's wife, is my older sister, Candace.
Your older sister?
Now, Janice, I have heard a bit about your situation. It seems that shortly after I started going out with your son, you got divorced from your husband. Because of that, you weren't informed about the results of what happened with him and I, were you?
Yes, that's probably true.
That's why you mistakenly assumed I was your son's wife. But after your divorce, I understand you met with Mark a few more times to have lunches and dinners together, right?
Yes, we did meet a couple times after that. Well, since Mark and I exchanged phone numbers during our short time with one another, I assume you must have secretly taken my contact details around that time? If I'd only known the name of the actual woman he'd be getting married to, none of this would have happened. Right, but I imagine Mark didn't exactly want to tell you the truth, did he? It must have been hard to explain that he ended up marrying the woman he had been dating for a little bit's sister. That's an awkward situation to explain, and I know I'd be afraid to talk about it as well. So, that's how all of this... Well, I think we're done here now, right? What? By now, you're probably already on your way to the van that Rogers Construction brought for you, right? They've instructed me not to stay in contact after we've finished our conversation, since they'll be taking you out into the middle of nowhere and there won't be any cell service for you there. Wait, hold on a minute! Look, I was dragged into this misunderstanding due to a lack of information, but this is where our connection ends. Best of luck to you, and I hope you can make all of that money back to pay your ex-husband with. Wait! Oh, don't leave me like this! Good luck with your new job at Rogers Construction. Take care. Wait! Oak, I've been shoved into some blacked-out van, and none of these guys are giving me any answers. What's going on? Yeah, that would be Rogers Construction. You've heard of them, right? Wait, what? No! You've got to be kidding me. Isn't that... Yep, it's where Aunt May's been working for the past few decades now. I know that, but that's not the point. That place is notorious for being what people call a rehabilitation facility for wayward people. It's a nightmare at these kinds of companies. Well, sure, they're known for shaping up some rough types. But from my perspective, it's a good, reputable construction company with excellent employee training. A totally above and beyond style of operation. Why do I have to go and work for Rogers Construction, though? This could have all been settled if you'd just given me the $50,000 I was asking you for earlier. I never once said that I was giving you $50,000, though. What? You knew I needed to come up with $50,000, so you're telling me this was your solution? Just throwing me into a job somewhere? Pretty much. And that's why I had you come out to that parking lot today. So that's what this is all about? I thought you were going to pay me. Good luck with the job, and try your best not to piss off any of your bosses. Oak! Give me that $50,000 right now! At 9 a.m., Janice was picked up by the company van, and an hour later, my sister Candace was also collected by them. Although they're technically mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, they never once saw each other before heading off on separate journeys to their respective assignments, and will most likely never see one another ever again. Now, under the strict but caring guidance of their passionate senior colleagues, both Janice and Candace are reportedly spending their days utterly exhausted, battling muscle soreness and near tears as they work hard. It's tough, to say the least, but they're getting through it in order to change their ways and make that money they both need to pay other people off. As for Mark, who's still recovering in the hospital, it seems he's had time to reflect on a few things a bit when it comes to his mother and his wife. Word is, after his recovery, he plans to join Rogers Construction voluntarily as well, in order to humble himself and understand better the people like his mother and wife. So as you can see, although I was unexpectedly dragged into this situation, it's finally settled down and I didn't have to end up paying a single person the $50,000 they begged me for. Now, as for what's been going on with myself after all the drama concluded, I am taking a well-deserved break, enjoying a parfait with my real mother-in-law and relaxing after all the chaos.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Carmen, are you there? Oh my gosh, how long has it been since you and I last talked? It has to have at least been a whole year now, right? Isn't that so crazy? I guess that must have been when I stole your super smart, super rich boyfriend John from you, huh? Man, to think that you were so close to living an easy life and not having to worry about money or working or anything like that ever again. But you must have been pretty shocked when you realized that you were betrayed by him for me, huh? I mean, what was the bigger shock, having your husband leave you for another woman, or that the woman was your own sister? That must have been like a double whammy for you. Don't worry, I know all about how you probably feel about it, but just because I understand doesn't mean I'm going to be giving back John to you anytime soon.
Are you seriously texting me at 3 in the morning just to send me this crap? Can you at least wait until the normal hours of the day before you start trying to brag about how amazing your life is to me, Lisa?
Well, you were already up anyways, right?
I actually just happened to get up to use the bathroom, if you must know. But if you're still trying to lord something over me from a year ago, I've moved on and don't care about you or John anymore.
What is that supposed to mean, huh?
It means that I'm going to bed because it's 3 in the morning, Lisa.
Hold on a second, we weren't through here. I still have more that I want to say to you.
Well, I'm already putting my phone down, so...
I really can't believe that you're such a sore loser that you would rather pretend to go to sleep than listen to what I have to say. You must be so scared of having to face the truth. That's why you act like this, huh? You really think I bought that my messages didn't get you wide awake or that you're already over losing John? I know that your heart is still just so full of love for him. You probably spent the rest of the night just crying into your pillow, didn't you? All because you can't handle the fact that you were beaten by your little sister who is living a much better life than you now. You think you can fool me with some half-hearted message about being over the past? There's no way that I'd ever buy that. But now that I have you at a decent time of day, I just wanted to let you know that you are never going to get John back from me. You're going to be single and poor for the rest of your life, and there's nothing that you can do about it, ever. Got it? Hey, why aren't you responding to me at all? I see that you've already opened up these messages. Well, as long as I have you here, I also just wanted to let you know that I saw you going into your tiny shack of an apartment building. To think that you used to be a housewife to someone who was rich and successful, and now you live in a messed up little place like that. I've always wondered what it's like to have to live in a place like that. Care to share any of your thoughts with me on the matter?
Right, well, I guess whether or not my apartment is really all that bad is more in the eye of the beholder, if you ask me. I mean, I pay over $3,000 in rent a month, so I think it's pretty nice, but I guess others might not see it that way.
Hold on a second. You pay over $3,000 a month for that place? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke? Or did you just tell me the wrong number? You're telling me that it's a 3 followed by 3 zeros, and you pay even more than that? I know that you live in one of the worst parts of town, and you expect me to believe that not only do you pay that much in rent, but you think that it's not a bad place? It has nothing to do with the eye of the beholder or anything. You just have a terrible apartment and are lying to me about it.
So you mean that it's really been a whole year since you and John ran off together and you still haven't figured it out?
Figured what out? What are you talking about, huh? Just what kind of game are you trying to play here?
You mean you really have no idea at all about what's been happening to John's dad's company?
Quit talking in circles and just tell me what you're going on about. I am not going to play some little guessing game with you. Got it?
I'll try and make this quick for you then. When you and John got together last year, I really was shocked and didn't know how to react at all. But that's when I noticed the mistake that you made. The only mistake that I could exploit to my advantage. Do you have any idea what I could be talking about at all, Lisa?
No, I don't, because you sound like a crazy person rambling about nothing. I know that you're just mad and jealous of the fact that I'm living the good life with John, and no creepy or threatening thing you say is going to scare me or change that fact.
Well, okay then. I suppose I won't bother finishing my thought then, but just don't say that I didn't warn you.
You didn't warn me about anything at all. You're just acting as if I'm supposed to know some big obvious fact that you're refusing to tell me. You really know how to get under my skin, do you know that? I get that you're still mad because I stole your husband, but that's no reason for you to still be so upset. I mean, just take it as proof that I'm the better sister between us and leave it at that. Just face it, I'm full of beauty and brains and everything you're not.
You're certainly full of something, at least on that we can agree.
What did you just say to me? Just what is that supposed to mean, huh? Why are you always such an awful jerk?
I really don't have time nor the energy to get into this with you. But I've given you more than a fair warning. If you really don't know what's going on under your own roof, though, well, that's not my problem in the slightest.
Yeah. I'm so scared of whatever fake story you've come up with to try and scare me, you liar. You really think that I'm going to listen to what some poor lonely old hag has to say to me? I bet you're just mad from living in your tiny little apartment squandering your lonely life away, and this was the only thing you could think of to relieve some stress. But I'm not going to fall for it. I'm better than you and above this petty nonsense. And by the way, John and I are about to leave for a trip overseas, so what do you think about that? We've been taking these trips every couple of months since him and I got married. This could have been your life if you were good enough to keep your man. In fact, this time, it's only been 1 month since our last big trip abroad, so you can go ahead and be jealous of us while we go do some globetrotting.
Right, well, that sounds like none of my business, but I suppose I just hope that you can enjoy it while you can.
That's what I thought, loser. I knew that you'd have nothing to say to that. Carmen, are you there? Do you have any idea about this? Just what is going on here? I know you know, so give me some answers now.
Oh, Lisa, so lovely to hear from you. Did you and John make it back from your trip okay? I hope that you enjoyed your little vacation. Welcome home.
What do you mean, welcome home? That's exactly what I'm messaging you about. There isn't any home for us to go back to.
I'm sorry, Lisa, but I'm sure that I have no idea what you're talking about in the slightest. What do you mean there's no home?
I mean that we got back from our trip and then we were going to go to John's parents' house where we've been living. But when we got there, there was a construction crew there and they were in the process of tearing the house down.
Oh, that. Right. I had almost forgotten all about that, to be perfectly honest.
You mean that you know about this? Is this what you mean in those messages you were sending me last month? Is this what you were trying to warn me about? No more games. I want answers right now.
Well, if it's answers you want, I wouldn't waste your time talking to me. You should go and talk to John's parents instead. I'm sure they would love to fill you in.
What is that supposed to mean? Do they know about this? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
You mean you haven't even tried reaching out to them at all about this? You might have talked to some of your neighbors there about what's going on, but I'm sure they probably don't have too much more to say to you than they moved. But it's because they don't know what's really going on. Why don't you try calling your in-laws and asking them just where they're living now?
I don't know what game you're trying to pull, but I just want you to know that the jig is up and you aren't going to scare me anymore. John called his dad and asked where he and his mom were right now. They told us that they had actually moved and that if we were going to see them, we would have to brace ourselves. But that can only mean one thing to me. It must mean that they moved to an even bigger and better house and they want to surprise us. I bet it's going to be huge, like 3 stories with a pool, maybe even a statue garden. Oh man, it's going to be like living in a palace, I bet. I can't wait to see their new place so I can rub it in your face. What the heck is going on here? Please tell me this is some kind of sick joke or something. Just what even is this place?
Ugh, what is it? What do you want this time? Why can't you just experience something and keep your thoughts to yourself, huh?
I mean, I don't understand. We went to the address that John's parents gave us, and it just took us to the crappy old apartment that you live in. This doesn't make any sense at all.
Oh, is that where you're at right now? Well, I guess I should have guessed that that was what was going on.
What are you talking about? You mean you knew this was going to happen? What else aren't you telling me? I have a right to know.
I already told you I'm the wrong person to ask if you want answers. If you really want to know what's going on, you need to ask your in-laws.
But why? Why can't you just tell me what's happening? Why are you trying to play these games with me?
I just don't really see why I should have to explain anything to you at all after what you did to me. If you want answers, you're going to have to go out and find them yourself.
I have got a really, really bad feeling about this. I know I'm not going to like whatever comes next. Oh wow, it's already morning. I had no idea that time was even passing. I was just spacing out for so long. After hearing about how John's father was kicked out of his position as CEO and John lost his role in upper management, I don't think I've moved a single inch since they've told me.
So I take it that means you finally worked up the courage to ask your parents about what was going on? Did John and his father come clean to you about getting caught embezzling from the company? That's why the board of directors decided that the next CEO would have to be someone from outside the family.
I know, they told me about all of that already. I was so shocked that I've been sitting in place for hours now. I only noticed it was morning because the sun began to shine in my eyes and it finally snapped me out of my trance. And when I came to, we were still in this tiny little apartment.
Well, you better get used to it. That is going to be your life from now on. The two of them were sued by the company and made to return all the money that they had stolen. Then they were fired.
So they really were fired then? It's not just a suspension or a demotion or something like that?
That's right. In fact, I had a feeling that John was doing this even when we were married. It was actually one of the reasons I was so keen to leave him when I did. I know that he and his dad were lining their pockets with the company's money even if I didn't have any proof. I confronted John one day and he ended up spilling everything to me. But it wasn't long after that I found out you two were seeing each other. So I figured I would just rescue myself from the problem and walk away.
You have got to be kidding me. How could you just let me walk straight into this situation?
I didn't think that you'd be stupid enough not to realize what was happening. But you were, and you tried rubbing your marriage to him in my face.
So then that's why we were living in this tiny little apartment? Are you telling me that you're really paying more than $3,000 a month for this place?
Sorry, but you seem to be mistaken again there, Lisa.
What are you talking about? What more could you possibly have to tell me? I'm not sure just how much more of this I can take, Carmen.
That apartment actually belongs to a friend of mine who helped me out after John and I got divorced. But that isn't the $300 apartment that I'm talking about. The place I live and pay rent for is in another town, if you must know.
Wait, so then this isn't your address? But I thought that you were living in this apartment.
I know that's what you thought, but you came up with that all on your own and never bothered to check with me if it was really true.
But I thought that you were just a housewife. How can you afford that price for an even nice place, even though you weren't even working before?
I was never ever a housewife, even when John and I were married, Lisa.
What do you mean by that? What did you do then? I thought you just lazed around the house and would clean from time to time or make John dinner.
Well, you're wrong about that. I was working. It was just that I had a job that I could do from home. I was selling real estate from home and actually managed to make a pretty decent salary for myself.
You're kidding me. I had no idea that that's what you were doing. Why didn't I know about that?
But if I can be honest with you, I only pay a third of the rent for the place I'm at now. The rest of the money comes from Mom and Dad.
But why would they be paying for your apartment? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's because they're here living with me in this very apartment, of course.
Wait, what? They're living with you in your apartment right now?
You mean you really didn't know about this at all? Then again, Mom and Dad do always tell me how they do their best to avoid talking to you ever since you stole your own sister's husband from her. So I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't tell you about their move out to live with me. But Dad even talked to his company and asked for a transfer out here so that he and Mom could come and be with me.
I don't know what to say to that. I mean, I really had no idea that any of that had happened at all.
You mean that Dad really never mentioned any of this to you at all?
Well, he might have said one thing, but I didn't know that you were all going to live together in some really nice place. I thought that you had just convinced Mom and Dad to take your side and that you were going to live with them to mooch off of them.
And have you heard it all from Dad since he talked about people moving?
I haven't at all.
That's probably because both Mom and Dad have blocked you on everything and never want to talk to you again.
But I thought that they were just having money problems and couldn't afford to pay for their phones. I can't believe they would do that to me after already being so mean about my marriage.
You mean your marriage to my ex-husband who you stole from me? Did you really think that Mom or Dad were ever going to go for that? I mean, you know how much Dad talks about the importance of making your own way through the world. He was so disappointed in you when he found out that you had just stolen my husband all because you heard he was rich. But now you and John's family can all work hard to afford that tiny little place together. Don't worry, the rent is quite cheap. It's 10 times less than what I'm paying.
How did it all come to this? I just don't understand. This isn't fair.
I ended up showing my parents the final conversation that I had with Lisa, and they just shook their heads. I feel like a part of them is holding out hope in their hearts that Lisa's going to have some sense knocked into her, but I just don't have time to hold out for that anymore.
We all wonder about what went wrong with Lisa and how she ended up the way she did. My parents think that they might have spoiled her too much as the younger sister. She never worked a day in her life and could basically get anything she asked for. But now I guess she'll have to learn to take care of her own and others now that her and John's family will all be looking for work soon. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey Linda, what do you think you're doing disappearing as soon as you see my mother? Just because you and her don't get along doesn't mean you can start a fight with her. I mean, we are on vacation abroad, aren't we? At least try to get along while we're here, please.
Loretto, can you not guess why I disappeared as soon as I saw your mother with us?
Why is that? Tell me, because I really don't get it.
Because today is the first day of our honeymoon. I mean, isn't only the husband and wife supposed to go to the honeymoon? Why then is your mother with us in Guam when we're supposed to be having our honeymoon? Just the two of us. I mean, she was waiting for us at the airport here with a smile on her face. What were you even thinking, not telling me about this in the first place?
Mom asked me not to tell you because she wanted it to be a surprise. I mean, it's obvious that I brought her because I want to be kind to my parents, isn't it?
Huh? What do you mean you're being kind to your parents?
Besides, won't it be more fun if my mom comes with us to our honeymoon? We can help her out together. Only good things will come out of this.
Huh? What do you mean we can help her out together? I didn't come all the way out to Guam to entertain your mother or something. Besides, why did you just bring your mother? Couldn't we have brought my parents as well?
Huh? Why would you say that? I mean, my mom being here is going to make things awesome. But your parents are just going to spoil our fun on this honeymoon of ours, aren't they?
It's the same logic, right? We can be kind to my parents as well. Do you think that bringing along your mom but not my mom is fair?
I mean, it's going to be different for me if your mom comes instead of my mom, won't it? Come on, Linda, you're being a bit too selfish here, says my mom.
Oh, so you're going to call me bringing my parents selfish, but what you're doing yourself isn't?
Huh? What are you talking about, Linda? Of course it's not selfish. All I want is my mom to enjoy our honeymoon with us. But you seem to be opposed to that idea.
Jesus Christ, it's like I'm talking to an AI. By the way, where's your mother going to stay anyways? She couldn't have just come to Guam without hotel reservations, right? Where is she going to stay?
Oh yeah, she's going to stay with us in the same room.
What? Why did I expect you to say that?
I mean, she's going to be so lonely if she's only in a different room, right?
So this is why you wanted to do all the planning for our honeymoon yourself.
Of course. I want to go sightseeing with my mom as well. Even if it is a resort hotel. I can't just let my mom wander around abroad.
Jesus, I give up. I don't care anymore.
Huh? What's your problem? You're making it seem like I did something wrong here. Are you really so selfish as to not want my mom to share in our fun?
Yeah, whatever. Fine. You go with your mom. I'll go sightseeing myself.
What? Linda? Are you mad about something? Never mind, I think you do need to cool your head down a bit. I'll be checking in the hotel room with my mom. Once you calm down, let's meet up again, shall we?
Linda! To think that you were the kind of mean wife that would tell her mother-in-law not to come with them on their honeymoon? Oh my God, I pity my son Loretto so much. He's better off being single than having a selfish and arrogant wife like you. Even if you were introduced to us by an acquaintance of my husband, we should have turned down the offer the moment we saw you. It seemed that Loretto liked you for some reason, so we had no choice but to accept the marriage, but I haven't accepted you as part of our family yet. As a penalty for being so rude, please don't come with us on our vacation. You're going to ruin our special time of just me and my son together. Ever since you two got married, you've been living with us in Loretto's house, and I've had to put up with a pest in our living space for 3 whole months. But now we're finally free of you, and we can enjoy ourselves.
Apparently, my son Loretto is being kind enough to ask that you meet up with us later on. But if we just let you off with no punishment like that, I feel like we're going to have problems later on. It's going to make you even more arrogant, I think. This Guam vacation is not going to be your honeymoon anymore, but me and Loretto's family vacation. Don't show yourself to us no matter what.
Linda? Where did you go last night? I told you to meet us after you had calmed down, right? I don't think you're the kind of person that would sleep outside, but Mom says that she wants to go sightseeing already. So me and my mom are just going to head out. Just tell me when you feel like meeting up with us. All right? Hey, Linda. Your head's probably cooled down already, right? Forget about everything you said about me and my mother. So would you just meet up with us already? We're going to be returning to the hotel now. But please, could we just stay together starting from tonight? Oh, and make sure you apologize to my mom and make up with her. It's really important that you do because you seem to have really hurt her feelings.
Huh? What the hell are these texts you sent me?
Oh, hey, Linda. Me and my mom have already returned to the hotel. I don't know where exactly you are in Guam, but stop being so stubborn already and just come back. You're going to ruin our once-in-a-lifetime honeymoon. If apologizing to my mom sounds difficult, then I'll apologize with you. All right? So, are you going to come back?
Loretto, I'm not in Guam anymore. I've already returned to Japan.
What?
I got on a flight this morning and went home. Well, I felt that just going home from the airport was a bit boring, so I stopped by an onsen hotel and am enjoying these onsen by myself right now. I hadn't realized it until now, but ever since I moved in with you and your mom, who for some reason also lived in the new house that was meant for the two of us, I haven't had a single moment of peace and quiet. Oh, how I missed these moments.
What? Who said you could just go back to Japan? Just stop doing as you please, will you? We're supposed to be on our honeymoon.
I'm the one who's doing as I please? You're the one who brought your mom with us on our honeymoon without telling me anything. Not only that, but you wanted her to go sightseeing with us and even stay in the same room as us. That's not what a regular person would do, Loretto.
I already told you. I did all of that so my mom would be happy.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that that's not what you call a honeymoon. If you had at least asked me in advance, things might be different, but you knew that I would disagree, which is why you didn't tell me anything until we actually saw her at the airport in Guam. You thought that I wouldn't be able to refuse once you actually did it, didn't you?
To be honest with you, yes. That's why I didn't tell you that my mom would be coming with us. But don't you feel bad about leaving my mom behind while the two of us go on a honeymoon? I mean, she wants to go to Guam as well, you know.
Only the wife and the husband usually go to honeymoons. What do you mean, won't you feel bad leaving my mom behind? Your mom was never supposed to come with us in the first place. Besides, your father is still in Japan, right? Don't you feel bad for him as well?
What? My father? Well, not really. I don't think he would have come even if I had asked him to. Mom, on the other hand, begged me to let her come with us. She wanted to go to Guam so badly, Linda. And you're just going to tell her not to come?
Yes. It doesn't matter whether she wants to come with us or not, because it was our honeymoon, and only the two of us were supposed to go in the first place. Oh, and I thought that I should tell your father about what happened, so I did. He got mad when he found out that your mother came to our honeymoon.
Seriously? Why did you have to go and tell Dad about this?
He has the right to know, doesn't he? I mean, he's your parent, just like your mom is. Well, that's the situation, I guess. I'm not in Guam anymore. I went back to Japan. Enjoy your honeymoon with your mom, then.
Huh? It's not really a honeymoon if it's just me and my mother, though.
Seriously? You love your mother so much that you don't even realize I'm making fun of you?
What? I don't understand what's there to make fun of in the first place. You're the one who I should be making fun of for being so selfish as to not want my mom to share our honeymoon with us.
Yeah, say whatever you want. There's something I want to talk to you about once you and your mom return home. I'll let you two decide when you return. Bye then.
What? So, does this mean that you're letting me enjoy the rest of my vacation with my mother, right? Yes! This is the first steps towards you and my mom getting along better. Thank you, Linda. I knew that you were a good person at heart. Hey, Linda. What are these divorce papers you left behind?
Oh, so you came home? This was the day our honeymoon was supposed to end, by the way. Looks like you took it literally when I said, enjoy your honeymoon with your mom.
But you told me yourself that I could enjoy the rest of my vacation with Mom. We had already bought the plane tickets, so I didn't really see a need to change them.
Jesus. I want to tape signs on all sides of your body saying, beware, I have a mother complex.
Huh? What's so bad about me loving my mother? It's not a mother complex. This is a completely healthy mother and son relationship.
I'm not saying that loving your mother is bad, but I don't think you should prioritize what your mother wants over what your wife, wants all the time.
Yeah, but my mom is now your mom as well now that we're married. What do you find so strange about the two of us, taking care of our parents as husband and wife?
I'm trying to tell you that your way of taking care of our parents is completely messed up. Anyways, the decision I made of divorcing you is not going to change. To be honest, it stings having to get divorced after only 3 months. Your mother, she kept telling me that I stole her son from her, and so would always throw away my food and treat me like trash, hitting me with brooms and stuff. One time she even tried to throw away my last remembrance of my grandmother behind my back. Luckily, I was able to get it back from the dumpster, though. She's been abusing me every day for the past 3 months, and I am at my limit, both mentally and physically. Getting divorced is way better than having to watch the two of you fucking act like you're dating. I've never told you directly until now, but it makes me want to vomit.
Huh?
Hey, Linda, what kind of lies did you tell my husband? Oh, so now it's you, mother-in-law. Did you enjoy your honeymoon with your son who you love so much? There are more important things we need to talk about right now. My husband said that he was divorcing me and left the house. Well, I guess it's only natural for him to do so. Why? I mean, I was introduced to your son by someone your husband considers as his mentor, and that's how we got married in the first place. When I told him about how you've been abusing me these past 3 months, don't you think that it's only natural that he got mad at you? What? What do you mean you were introduced to us by my husband's mentor? That's what I heard, at least. By disrespecting me, you disrespected your husband's mentor, which obviously made your husband mad. Not only did you abuse me at home regularly, but you even plotted something with your son, or whatever, and suddenly appeared at our honeymoon destination. To be honest, I think your husband has made a completely fair decision. But there's no way I could have let my son go off without me with some random woman. What's so wrong about wanting to be with your own son? First of all, I'm not some random woman. I'm his wife. Or at least was his wife. And second of all, your problem is not that you just want to be with your son, but that you want to be with your son a little bit too much. And no, I didn't lie to your husband about anything. All I did was tell him about how you've been abusing me these past 3 months. I just gave him the facts and showed him some evidence as to what you were doing to me. It's your husband, not me, who came up with the idea of divorcing you. I'm not involved with this, so you should discuss it with him, not me. Linda, I order you to do something about this. Convince my husband not to divorce me or something. He'll probably listen to you. What makes you think you can give me orders?
I'm going to block you now, all right?
I don't want to get divorced, Linda.
Huh?
I talked with Dad after we got home from Guam, and there's something I know now. The reason that I broke up with all my girlfriends who visited my parents' house in the past was because my mom was interfering. My dad saw this was happening, and so he talked to his mentor about it. His mentor was kind enough to introduce me to another woman. You.
Ah, so that's why your father apologized to me. He didn't notice how the two of you got along so well because he was always so busy with work. He apologized to me for making me have to put up with his idiot of a son and his idiot of a wife.
What? He called us idiots?
Hey, Loretto, do you even realize what you've been doing these past 3 months?
Huh? What are you talking about?
When we first met, you called your mother Mom, probably because deep down you knew that I would find the relationship between you and your mother strange. But ever since we got married and I moved in, you've been unconsciously calling her Mommy from time to time.
What? Seriously?
I'm not going to judge you on just how you call your mother, but in your case, you calling your mother Mommy is a sign of your extreme dependence on your mother, probably. If I'm being honest, I felt a little disgusted every time you called her that. Actually, I felt very disgusted.
Disgusted?
Yes. To be honest, you disgust me on a biological level, so I want to get divorced.
I disgust you on a biological level? Why? What do you find so disgusting about me and my mother getting along? Oh, I get it. You were probably one of those people that weren't loved by their mother growing up. And that's why you're jealous at our relationship, aren't you? Jesus, Linda, you're so petty.
And here I thought that you were starting to realize what you've been doing until now was wrong. Yep, you really are disgusting, Loretto. I don't know why I agreed to marry you in the first place. You disgust me so much that I never want to see you again.
But I was so happy. I was finally able to get married. You have to come back, Linda, or else who knows when I'll find someone else again. I cut ties with Mommy.
Huh? Okay.
That means you don't have to divorce me anymore, right? I'm going to move to your house right now, so tell me your address. This time for sure, we're going to act like a proper husband and wife. Let's just forget anything ever happened and start over.
But I already turned in the divorce papers.
What?
Yeah, they were mailed to my house, and so I turned them into the city hall the same day.
Those divorce papers? The one you left on our table and I signed on the day we got back from Guam because I was so mad at you and just did everything Mommy told me? Come on, Linda. That doesn't count, right? I wasn't thinking straight and my mom was pushing me on.
Of course it counts. It has your signature and everything. You see, I've already told everyone, my friends and family, that we were going to get divorced. Even your dad's mentor who introduced me to you in the first place knows about it already. Besides, even if I hadn't turned them in yet, there's nothing you could do that would change my mind about the divorce.
What do you mean there's nothing I can do to change your mind about the divorce? But I just cut ties with Mommy. The cause of all of our problems. We don't have to worry about anything now. That's what you wanted, right? For my mom not to be around us?
Sorry, Loretto. Even if you did somehow magically turn into a new person, I'm just not willing to take the risk anymore. Besides, I don't quite understand in what way you think this solves everything. I think that my feelings towards you, that of being disgusted on a biological level, will never change. I'm going to block you now. Goodbye. I predicted that my ex-husband Loretto would somehow try to contact me after that, so as soon as I blocked him, I went to the cell phone store and had my phone number changed. Of course, I also changed my WhatsApp ID. Luckily, my parents were planning on moving anyways, so I didn't need to worry about him locating me physically. Apparently the precautions I took paid off since, according to some mutual acquaintances, he's been frantic trying to get a hold of my new contact information. During all of this, Loretto's parents also got divorced. As soon as this happened, Loretto's mother suddenly barged into Loretto's house and forcefully moved in with him, even though Loretto had already cut ties with her. Loretto's mother, Simona, was always unhealthily dependent on her son. And after she suddenly got divorced with her husband, she began spiraling into mental instability. It seems that she's still interfering with her son's relationships, making it difficult for him to get married. Apparently, Loretto was seen yesterday entering a clinic for the mentally ill by one of his acquaintances.
Gilda, I went by your house today and it smelled like curry. It smelled delicious. Could I have some to give to my family?
But our house is on the 7th floor of an apartment. Did you come all the way to the front door or something?
Come now, there's no need to worry about the details. You see, everyone in my family loves curry, so we'd like to take it from you. Come on, Gilda, you know how we're struggling financially and have 3 kids to feed, right? Couldn't you be kind enough to just give us some food?
Huh? Wow, so this is one of your sudden requests again. Everyone in my family likes curry as well, and I only made enough for the 4 of us, so I won't be giving any to you. I sympathize with your struggles, but I simply don't feel the need to give you our food. If you and your family are truly struggling, as you say, then why don't you apply for financial aid?
But why would I apply for financial aid if you could just give it to me yourself? I mean, you say you don't feel the need, but in reality, you're just too selfish to help us out, aren't you? Besides, isn't it only natural for you to make curry for everyone in my family as well?
What? Well, I guess you could call me selfish for not helping you out, but to be honest, we aren't really that close, Sophia. And I'm no saint that goes around helping the needy either. And no, it isn't natural for me to make curry for your family as well, since we barely even know each other. Do you text the other mothers like this all the time too?
Aw, don't say that, Gilda. We're friends, aren't we? And no, I don't ask the other mothers for favors like this because I know you're the only one who's kind enough to actually help me. I mean, I'm always nice enough to ask for your curry, Gilda. Why do you always just turn me down? Seriously, don't you feel even a little bit guilty wasting my kindness like this?
Yeah, but I've never even thought to myself that I'd like it if you received my curry. We're not friends, Sophia. Don't call me that. I mean, you're not really being kind to us anyways, since what you're doing is actually just bothering us by asking for our stuff. This is food I made for my family, so I won't give it to you.
What? What are you trying to say, Gilda?
I'm trying to say that I'm not going to give you a single spoonful of curry. If I had known it would come to this, I would have never entertained you by giving you some of our food last week.
What did you just say to me? To think that I was nice enough to visit you guys at your apartment. I'm only trying to be a good neighbor, you know.
All right, I'll consider this as just one of your pranks again.
A prank? This isn't a prank, Gilda. I'm being 100% serious. If you're not a selfish bitch that only thinks about herself, then give me some of that curry you made.
Yeah, call me whatever you want. What makes you think I'd care? Anyways, I still have some housework I need to take care of, so bye.
Hey, hold on! But if you don't give us some of your curry, then my family will have nothing to eat for dinner. Seriously, Gilda, if we starve, it's going to be your fault. Just give us your curry so you won't have to feel guilty anymore. Hey, Gilda, what's with the car?
Huh? What do you mean the car?
The car that was parked in the parking lot? Oh my God, I am so jealous of you.
If you're talking about my car, then I've been using it for about half a year now. What do you mean you're jealous? It's just a regular car made in the country.
My, to think that you would call a car like that regular? That must mean that you were secretly rich, right? I mean, a car like this probably cost at least 100 million euros, right? Jesus, Gilda. What does your husband even do for a living? And why do you guys live in such a regular apartment if you've got so much money?
What? I have no idea what you're talking about, Sophia. I mean, you live in a regular 3DK apartment, so I was just almost fooled into thinking that you guys were just an average household. I get it. You're the kind of person who doesn't care much about food or housing and just uses all their money on cars, right? Not really, but I'm pretty sure that our household income is pretty average, actually. In fact, due to the recent inflation, we've been forced to be tight with money recently. We definitely don't have enough money to buy a car worth 1 million euros, if that's what you wanted to ask. It's no use trying to hide that you're rich, because I already know. And now that I've seen that amazing car, it's your duty as a celebrity mother to support me and my family who are suffering, because we have 3 children, even though my husband doesn't earn that much money. You don't have any excuse not to give me stuff anymore, Gilda. If you don't, you'll truly just be a selfish bitch, and I'll tell all the other mothers about it. I already told you, my family is neither rich nor famous. So I'm afraid we won't be able to help you. And I don't care if you call me selfish or whatever, but it's just the way of the world. People prioritize themselves and their family above everything else, and we're no different. Besides, I don't want to be called selfish by someone who always asks for stuff but never gives anything in return. What are you talking about? What do you mean you're neither rich nor famous? I mean, your husband earns enough money for you to be able to be a housewife, right? That alone is enough to show that someone is rich in this day and age. I'm not a housewife. I just work from home. Oh, so that means that not only does your husband earn a lot of money, but you earn money yourself as well. That must mean that you have a ton of money then. You must do some high-class job yourself, right? I know you must be an investor or something. Wow, I never knew you were so talented, Gilda. No, I'm not an investor. I'm just a regular employee who works for the planning department at B Corporations. My husband is also just a regular office worker who earns a regular salary. Will you please stop making all these assumptions? None of them are true. I already told you, Gilda. I know you're lying because there's no way someone with a regular salary would be able to afford a car like that. Give me that car of yours. Huh? So this is what you wanted from the start, huh? If you're that rich, then you can just buy another one, right? So give it to me. My family clearly needs it more than you. Do you know how much a luxury car would help a struggling family with 3 children? A lot. I mean, we definitely wouldn't be struggling anymore. I'm afraid I won't be able to do that. That's the only car our family owns. And for the last time, we don't earn enough money to be able to just buy another car. Fine, then just let me drive it first. I'll decide then whether I'll take it from you or not. I won't give it to you, and I won't let you drive it either. Who knows what you might do? You might try to run away with it or get into an accident or something. Aw, please. It's fine if you just let me drive it a bit, right? Come on, Gilda, what harm would it do? No, it's not lending the car itself that's the problem here, but the fact that I'm going to be lending it to you, who, if we're being honest, I have zero trust with. Jesus, Gilda, you're going to hurt my feelings with words like that. I thought we were friends. If we really are friends, then just let me drive your car for a bit. I want to drive it, I want to drive it, I want to drive it. You're so stubborn. For the last time, I am not going to let you drive it. Bye. Huh? You're so stingy, Gilda. Fine. I'll just do something about it myself. I still really want to drive that car. So I thought to myself, so I went to the parking lot and, oh my God, the keys to the car were left on the hood. This means I can drive it, right? Yes, I knew you were my friend, Gilda. You always deny it, but I know you're just the kind of person that isn't very open about their own feelings. You're so cute letting me know I can drive the car in this fashion. I mean, seriously. You tell me that you won't let me drive it, but one day you change your mind and leave the keys on the hood, and you don't tell me anything because you're too shy to do so. Anyways, thanks for changing your mind about me driving the car, Gilda. I'll take it out for a ride right now. Huh? Sophia? You're going to take our car out for a drive? What are you talking about? But I'm currently driving the car on my way to the supermarket. Stop with these jokes, please. They aren't funny. I'm going to tell you one more time. I'm not going to let you drive our car, and I'm definitely not going to give or lend it to you either. Seriously, where do you come up with all this nonsense? Oh, my, looks like I got a text from Gilda while I was driving. Huh? What do you mean you're driving your car and are on your way to the supermarket? But I'm driving your car right now, so there's no point in trying to lie. Oh, I get it. You're still too embarrassed that you changed your mind and are actually going to let me drive your car, which is why you're still denying it like this, right? It's all right, Gilda. I forgive you for being mean towards me at the start. We're best friends forever, after all. To tell you the truth, I thought that driving this car was difficult at first, but once you get used to it, it's actually all right. I got the opportunity to take your car out for at least a test drive, so I decided to go somewhere far away, and now I'm on the highway. It feels so good speeding down the highway in your luxury car, Gilda. Sophia, what? You're on the highway? Don't tell me, but are you actually driving right now? Yep. Well, not exactly right now, because that would be dangerous, right? I'm currently at a road stop taking a break, though. It feels so good going vroom vroom and going full speed in this car. But I'm trying to tell you that I used our car to go to the supermarket. I already parked it in our parking lot, but I can see it from our balcony. I'm pretty sure it's still there. I'm afraid that yet again, I don't know what you're talking about, Sophia. Yeah. It's getting kind of old, Gilda. Oh, that's right. I forgot to tell you. The car was scratched a bit, but don't you dare complain about something as little as this, all right? Today's a test drive, after all. Make sure you have it repaired before I come and take it from you, all right? Sophia, can you still text right now? Yep, I'm still taking a break at the road sign. I'm planning on heading out soon. What is it? You said that you were driving a luxury car, right? The one with the golden number plate and the silver car frame? Yep. Why are you asking me that? This is your car, isn't it? You're weird, Gilda. I want you to stay calm and listen to me right now. Our family doesn't own any such luxury car. We only own a regular 4-seater. What? Yep, my car is a white car made by Nissan, and it was bought secondhand as well. What? But that was your previous car, wasn't it? I saw you leaving the parking lot driving a car like that before. It's the second closest one to the entrance, right? Yeah, I do park it at the second closest lot to the entrance. There, you see? But there's a similar parking lot 1 block down from the one I always use. I went to the balcony earlier to check if my car was still there and saw that there was a crowd gathering at this other parking lot. Could it be? I thought to myself and went to see what was happening. Wait, is it the case that... Yes, it is. You went to the wrong parking lot, Sophia, and mistook the luxury car parked at the lot second closest to the entrance for mine. Then you got in the car without the owner's permission and took it for a ride. I think this is what happened. No way! You've got to be kidding, right? There's no point in me making jokes at a situation like this. Then who is the owner of this luxury car? Yep, I think that's where you screwed up the worst. Who is it? Have you heard of Anton? Is that the crazy guy who's suspected of having ties with the criminal underworld? Correct. What? Then I'm in big trouble, right? Please, Gilda, I'll come back immediately and return the car without anyone noticing, so don't tell anyone that I took the car out for a drive. I told you earlier that there was a crowd at the parking lot, right? It means that Anton himself is there, and there's a commotion because he's screaming about how his car got stolen. No way. Apparently, there were eyewitnesses to you stealing the car and taking it out for a drive, so there's no point trying to hide anymore. Steal? I didn't steal it. there's no point trying to run away either, so you should just come back immediately and return the car or contact the authorities right away.
Gilda! What should I do? I got into an accident. I was panicking the whole time I was driving home, and I'm fine, but the car's been flattened. What should I do? Seriously, what should I do? I'm fucked now, aren't I? Gilda, please give me 1 million euros. I need to pay for the car that I broke. I mean, this is all your fault for not telling me that wasn't your car sooner, so you need to do something about this. Please, at least just read my messages. Apparently, if I don't give him 1 million euros by 3 days, he's going to do something terrible to me. I have no choice but to ask you, the one who's responsible for this mess, to give me the money. If you feel bad about getting me into this mess, then hurry up and give me the 1 million euros. He says I need to give it to him by sunset on Saturday. Gilda, where's the 1 million euros? Oh shit, the sun's about to set. My husband gave me divorce papers and went into hiding with our children, so I can't rely on them anymore. Are you going to tell me that you don't care what happens to me? Are you just going to throw me away, the friend you were kind enough to lend a car to once? Shit, the sun has set. Anton is here with a bunch of muscular men. Please, I need 1 million euros in cash right now. We're currently behind the parking lot his car used to be parked in. Come here quick. If you're not going to give me the cash, then at least come here so you can be taken away instead of me, please. He told me that if I couldn't pay the 1 million euros, then he's going to make me work for him for the rest of my life. He says that probably won't even be worth half of what I owed him. Please, Gilda, I think he plans on selling me to slavery or something.
I could already see Sophia telling everyone that it was my fault she broke Anton's car, so I decided to be one step ahead of her and tell Anton how she must have thought his car was my car because our cars are parked in the same spaces, but in different parking lots. But thankfully, he seemed to be a sane man and said it's her fault for trying to take someone else's car in the first place, and told me that this was in no way my fault. By the way, it seems that Anton went to Sophia's husband and told him that he would let him and his kids go on the condition that he divorced Sophia. He didn't need to tell Sophia's husband twice. And he finished the necessary paperwork required for his kids to change schools and for them to move somewhere far away at the speed of light. Sophia's parents had cut ties with her years ago, and so now that her family left her, she was completely alone with no one she could rely on. I don't know if the rumors about Anton having ties to the criminal underworld are true or not, but it's true that Sophia suddenly disappeared the day after she was supposed to give him the money. No one dares question what happened to her after that, and there hasn't been a word from her ever since.
Clayton, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm going to have to work late again today. Do you think you can make your own dinner tonight for yourself?
What, again with this?
Really, I do feel bad having to stay late over and over again recently. But right now, the company and my department specifically is working on a project for a new item, and we only have 1 month left to finish it. Once this last month is over, I'll be able to calm down a bit, and should be able to take more time off.
So that's so. And I guess I'll be going out and getting some filet mignon for myself.
Really?
And of course, since you're the one coming up with excuses to not make me dinner every night, I'll be paying for the meat with your credit card. Shouldn't be a problem for you though, right? I mean, if you're working that much overtime, then you should be making loads of money.
I get that, but I'm getting back to work now.
Filet mignon, filet mignon.
Hey, Clayton. Recently, you've been in your office all day. Are you still making sure to get your work done in there?
Huh? What's with that kind of question? You starting to doubt me now?
Well, you are working remotely now, but you've been in your office for a few days now, and I've never seen you come out, so I'm unsure what you're actually doing in there.
Saw that I'm getting paid still, right?
You showed me that bank statement over 4 months ago.
Showing you once should be more than enough to get you to believe me, right? I'm a very busy man when it comes to the heavy workloads I have to complete. I really do not want to keep sitting here listening to you ask unnecessary questions all day when I need to get back to work. Please stop talking to me while I'm working.
All right, but if you have something I need to talk with you about, then at least answer my texts.
No,
Huh? What the heck, Clayton?
I need to get back to work.
Erica, long time no see. Are you able to talk right now? What? If it isn't my old friend Jenna? How's it going? Well, I'm doing all right, but does this mean that you're back in town? That's right, but just for a little while. I've come back into town looking for some new locations to help expand the company that I started around 3 years ago. I have a main office right now, but I'd like to start opening up offices closer to some of my more distant customers in the hopes of bringing in even more. But anyway, since I'm all the way back in my hometown, I thought I should at least make some time to go out to eat with you or something so that we can catch up again. So what do you think about getting something after work to eat together? I'm sorry. Right now, I'm terribly busy with a project at work. If it's this Sunday, then I'll have time to see you. But I don't want to take away any of your time if you're supposed to be out looking for new places to expand to. This Sunday, huh? Okay. Oh, so that's okay with you then? Yep, that's perfectly fine with my schedule. I am my own boss after all, so I can do whatever I want without having to be worried about not getting my work done. LOL. Thank you so much for doing that for me, Jenna. Sorry that you caught me at a pretty busy time, though. You don't have to worry about that. I had assumed that you'd only have time on the weekends anyway, and was really only asking if you had time after work just to confirm that. And when we meet, I have something I'd like to talk to you about. What's that? It's not something I can convey very well to you over the phone or anything. So it's... I'll just say that there are some good things to it, and some bad things as well. And they impact more than just the two of us. Okay. I understand, I think. Now, once I found us a place to eat on Sunday, I'll give you a text. Do you have any place that you'd recommend we go? Seafood, noodles, a cafe? Whatever place you choose for us to go to will be fine with me. Okay. I'll search for a place tomorrow and let you know. I'm thinking something light, so hopefully a place with lots of salad options. All right. Thank you, Jenna. Clayton, I have a friend from back in college coming into town for work, and her and I are going out to eat together today. So I'll be out of the house for a little while. I won't be back until probably a bit after lunch, so can you make sure to make yourself something for lunch before I come back? And if you haven't noticed already, I made breakfast for the two of us, and I'll be putting your half into the fridge for you to warm up if you want it. Okay? I know that you're in your room right now and are too busy to reply to me. But I can see that you've read these texts, so I'm going to assume that means you've understood what I told you. If you don't, then tell me that now before I leave the house. I won't be able to do anything for you once I'm gone, okay? I'm heading out in about 5 minutes. Jenna, thank you so much for meeting to eat lunch today. And of course, tell me all those things. Erica, and thank you so much for allowing me to talk with you about all of that. I'm sure that all came as a massive surprise to you, right? But it was really nice for myself to finally get it all out there to you and not have to hold it down any longer. It was a surprise, but I'm happy that you feel a bit more relieved. I was already surprised by the fact that the company that my husband's been working for is actually the company that you're running. But the fact that he's been trying to make advances on you through the company's communication app is a bit... And not just you either, but other employees there as well. Well, let's just say that I'm not okay with that and can understand a lot more things now within my own home. I just wish he could have told me that he was no longer interested in me or something, so that I didn't have to waste any more of my time. It helps that you've understood everything I've said. Of course, I would never have a hard time understanding these things, but I just wish that I could have known sooner. However, now that I'm aware of what he's been up to, I'm a bit worried he'll continue to cause issues within your company. I don't want him to continue to try and talk with you like that, especially on the company's app. That's totally unacceptable. So I'm going to talk with him about this, and if that doesn't work, then I guess we'll be able to make a conclusive decision. All right. I just hope that all of this will end once you speak to him. Just be aware, though, that this has already put him on the chopping block, so don't expect that he'll keep his job, even if he does own up to what he's done. Yeah, I hope to get this all handled for us soon. The only problem is that I'm using a lot of my time and mental space to work on a project for my job, and so I don't have time to really think about my husband enough. You don't have to get too worked up just yet. I plan to tell you all of this before I really have to step in and manage him. So once your work has settled down a bit, think about all of this and let me know what we should do. And remember that you can come to me if things about him don't change, and I'll be willing to have you work for me and stay here. Understood. Thank you, Jenna. Clayton, it's time for you to get off of your computer for a second and come talk to me. I have some things to talk with you about right now.
Shut up. Stop knocking on my door. I cannot focus on my job like this.
First off, stop using only capital letters. I'm not in the mood to be yelled at by you or anyone, okay? And second, I have something very important that needs to be talked about. And so I'd like to talk about it in person.
Shut up. Stop talking to me. It's because you keep trying to talk to me that all my dang focus is ruined now.
You've been locked up in that office so much recently that I've begun to forget what you look like. And when I try to open the door just a little to talk with you, there's no answer. You left part of your shelf in front of it so that I can't get the door open all the way anymore, and it's ridiculous. And if you have things in there like work documents or things you don't want me to see, then just come out here and talk with me. I really don't have the patience anymore for this, okay? I've even been trying to call you so that I can hear your voice, and yet you never answer me. So that's the reason I have to text you all the time now. Even when I have something really important that you need to hear about.
Unless I'm gonna talk to you first, you shut the hell up.
You want me to stay quiet until you come and talk to me? Then what should I do about the things that I want to talk to you about?
Deal with all of them yourself.
But these are things that affect the both of us once a decision is made. I'm not kidding when I say that this topic is about more than just some shallow decision. It'll decide what happens with us from here on, and that includes our marriage.
Whatever you want to talk to me about isn't that important, Erica. I have work to do, and I'm a busy man. You can manage that all by yourself. Stop trying to take my attention away from my own work.
Fine. So I guess I'll be the one to make a decision all by myself then, without your input?
Shut the hell up. Just shut it. Until I talk to you, shut the freaking hell up. Stop making me say it over and over.
All right. Jenna, sorry for keeping you waiting on the update. After what you told me about the things regarding my husband, I've tried looking into some things and have come back with an answer for what to do about him and the choice I'll make. Oh, so you finally made a decision? Yep. I think that I'd be willing to join your company and move out of this place for good. Perfect! I found myself another great employee. But by doing that, what will we do with your husband? I'm aware that he's working remotely for me now, and thinks that he'll continue to be. Well, I guess, what did he say when you spoke to him about what all's been going on? He didn't say a thing, actually. Huh? Well, actually, there's something more to that. For a very long time now, he's been locking himself in his office, and never even answers to me when I try to talk to him. And he'll read all my texts that I've sent him, but never actually respond. And even after meeting with you for lunch, he's been the same way. I knew that all of this couldn't just be something that I could make a decision on, and so I wanted to get his side of the story and what he thought. But when I went and knocked on his door saying we had something important to discuss, he yelled at me a bunch and told me to shut up. I even told him that this was something important that would affect the both of us. But he only responded by saying it couldn't be that important and that he's too busy for me. And then he ended things by saying that it's fine for me to make a decision on all this by myself, and that he didn't want me talking to him unless he spoke to me first. What? Really, I haven't even seen his face in such a long time now. And when I'm at work, he'll leave the office to shower and eat food and live a normal life. This all pretty much shows me that he no longer wants anything to do with me, and really has been trying to live his own life, with whoever he's talking to in your company. Even you. I really don't like saying this, but Jenna, I haven't slept with him for a month now, and it all makes sense why. I get now why he's locked himself in that room, and it's pretty much because he no longer loves me. Dang. I suspected that when he started to talk to me and a few others here about non-business related stuff. But I guess this means it's all too late for him now. And listen, ever since that day he yelled at me like that, he's never even spoken to me or sent me a single text. And as he said, I guess I'll have to be the one to decide on everything by myself now. Understood. So tomorrow, I'll be telling the company I'm currently employed with that I'm leaving, and then I'll come to your company. And actually, I've already spoken with my boss, and he said that within 2 weeks, I'll be able to leave and head over to you. Really? That's perfect. Well, I'll get started myself then on preparing for your arrival. I'll get you an office of your own and everything here, and I'll train you myself. Wait, you'll probably want a company house for yourself as well, right? You can do that for me, though? That would be wonderful. Well, I want to make sure you're away from your husband once you come here, and I'm sure it's tough having to pay full price for a new place to live, so consider your new place of residence found.
Hey, Erica. Yo, what the hell is up with this divorce paperwork? Just when I started wondering why you've been so quiet recently, I walked by the room and all of your things are gone and the place pretty much empty. What? There's a letter underneath the divorce paper. Took a glance at the letter you wrote me. Been out of this house for over 3 days now. Just a second ago I gave your work a call, and they're telling me you left the company days ago as well. What the frick? What's this about the company I work for, CEO, being that friend you told me about from college? And she started telling you about how I started to talk with other co-workers and leaders at work through the company's communication app about private things? I never knew any of this was going on behind my back. And also, when I was talking to her through that communication app, she made herself out to be so cute and young to me. But now I can see that she's a 40-year-old grandma that I've been talking with. If you'd known that I was talking to her on there, then you should have told me sooner that she's old. Erica, hey! I'm finally talking to you now, so you can reply to me. I told you that it's alright to talk only when I talk first, right? I have a lot of important things to talk with you about, so reply to me now. Come on. Right now, I don't have a job to go to anymore, and I won't be able to pay the rent for a place like this. And now you're wanting a divorce. The reason I hadn't wanted you to see me all day or to talk to me was because I didn't want you knowing that I was talking to other women while I should have been working. And I didn't want you knowing that I was already at risk of losing my job. If you come back to me and forget the divorce, I'll talk to you again. And I'll begin looking for another job right away. Erica.
After having to sit there and look at all his annoying messages, I was finally able to see what had been going on with him. At this point, I can really see just how horrible of a man Clayton has been. I left him the business card to my lawyer at the house, and so if he has anything else he needs to say before the divorce, he can call them and talk it out. But because of how swiftly I got out of that place unnoticed, I was able to get a divorce from him with no speed bumps. And on his end, he ran crying back to his parents who live out in the countryside, saying he quit his job and lost his wife. But of course, as his mom greeted him at the front door and tried to calm all his crying down, his dad pulled the car out of the garage and put Clayton in it with him. He then drove him a ways out into the woods, where he set his son up with a new job, working for the foresting company out there. What Clayton never realized is that I already told his parents the truth about what he'd done, and so this was their plan to get him back on the correct path. Hearing that it all went to plan while I'm no longer around, I feel so warm inside. It's great to see that he'll never have an office to hide in again now, and that he'll never be able to try and get with any of the women from his work, because he'll be surrounded by other men working in a humid forest hauling wood all day. As for myself, though, I've started working my new job under my friend's supervision in her company. She said before, she's trying to expand the company. Or, in the next couple of months, once my training is done, she's going to have me become the manager of a new location opening up, and will make sure I'm paid more than what I was getting at my previous job. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.